Chrysler natural vacuum leak detection. We need to improve upon conditions where we can run this and not have to wait 4 to 6 hours. The natural vacuum leak detection is going to work off the natural vacuum the way the Ford and the GM and the Honda did. It's going to let the fuel heat up, create pressure, relieve the pressure, then measure the vacuum created when the fuel shrinks. What's going to be different here is we're not going to be using a solenoid to block the canister. This is the output of the canister. It measures the pressure and vacuum entering and leaving the canister. We have a large diaphragm here at the bottom showing you that it's going to open at about 1/2 inch of water level pressure. That's for refueling and pressure relief. When the vehicle stops, if we have pressure, it's going to open this up and then it's going to relieve that pressure and let it go no higher than 0.5 inch. That's the highest the pressure will ever go. We're going to look for a vacuum to close the switch that closes at 1 inch. And we have a small diaphragm that opens at 3 to 6 inches of vacuum, which is be used for other purposes to tell us we have a situation where we're turning purge on and we can see it work. So the small diaphragm is going to open at 3 to 6 inches to limit the maximum value. We don't want it to go any higher than normal. This just lets it say, hey, we have a slight vacuum. When we create this vacuum, we close the 1 inch switch and the computer says, hey, I open purge, I saw the 1 inch vacuum close, I know I got it, it goes off from there, and we're going down the road. So the natural vacuum system has 3 actual components. A vacuum switch near 1 inch of water to indicate the engine off natural vacuum for our leak test. And when we look at the overall way the thing works, it's pretty straightforward. We build up the pressure, relieve it with the pressure solenoid, with pressure diaphragm. When the vacuum builds, it will pull the vacuum switch closed at 1 inch. Let's talk about that 1 inch. It's going to check for these after shutdown. The pressure relief builds to about 1/2 inch and relieves it and keeps it going no higher. As it cools, fuel cooling will create a natural vacuum. 3 degrees Fahrenheit temperature change in fuel temperature produces about 1 inch of vacuum. So if we can get about a 5 degree Fahrenheit, we can pull 1.5 inches difference. Why 1.5 inches? Well, we got a 1/2 inch of pressure, 1 inch of vacuum, and by the 2, we need 5 degrees of temperature change. The PCM measures the time until the vacuum switch closes after engine shutdown. Now this gets to be crazy. The PCM ignores the switch for the first 10 minutes because it knows it's waiting for the fuel to expand and does not start accumulating engine off time until the first 60 minutes have passed. This is to eliminate false information. The PCM will accumulate the engine off time until 4,200 minutes have accumulated without a vacuum closure, and there must be at least 100 minutes of engine operating time to set a failure, and we need 2 failures to turn the check engine light on and set a code. Now the PCM is going to continue to look at this for up to 17.5 hours after engine shutdown. So it works by mechanical, which means it can get dirty and contaminated and stop working, but it doesn't need a lot of electrical things. Here's our mode 6 for natural vacuum leak detection. It's looking for natural vacuum leak detection time. There's our time. Here's our leak detection test time, our natural vacuum leak detection accumulated off on time, our engine off time, time switch to close, purge flow monitor. Did we see purge flow? Did our purge valve function? Do we have any flow errors? And so forth. It's going to look at the the O2 sensor for shifts to say we actually had purge. It's going to look at the switch ratios, a number of things to try to make this work and build up. It's purely mechanical. This is a confusing system. Basically, you need to make sure the NVLD works before you condemn anything because it has failure levels. You can do our same test we've done before, but if we're going to do flow testing, we're going to have to take and block off the vent with pliers because we have no way of retaining it. We have no bidirectional testing we can do to restrict the system to see if we have leaks. So it requires special testing, and we'll have that with a number of different systems.